than it does from any email from me.
Awesome. Thank you, Emily. That's great. Uh, okay. With that, that's the end of our updates for the Mendocino County Fire Safe Council. And now I would like to introduce our two speakers. So we have Julie and Nicole from the Halter Project. The Halter Project was established in 2013, and they're a grassroots project based in Sonoma County. And they are really dedicated to the safety and welfare of people and animals in emergencies and disasters. So they have a wealth of information and knowledge on their website, and we're really excited to have you both here. Thank you so much. And yeah, I'll pass it off to you.
Thank you.
Hey, Ava and Scott, thank you all so much. And it's great to meet, albeit virtually, so many of you online. I actually have quite a bit of history with Mendocino County going all the way back to actually about 2015. But starting in 2018, through some partnerships up there in various sectors, we were invited to start presenting workshops to Mendocino county libraries. And a little bit later on, just before COVID, we worked with your county Office of Emergency Services to help them evaluate the planning for animals in disasters as they were updating the county's evacuation planning. So we visited a number of cities and towns up and down the county at that time. And then throughout COVID, I got the opportunity to be up there at various libraries, mostly in the south end of the county, Willett, Ukiah. I think we were out, and we were definitely out in Potter Valley and Covelo, working with libraries out there and presenting workshops in gardens and some of the community farms. And so we actually had some great materials that we developed for kiddos. I'll show those a little bit later, and you have links to them as well. But it's great to be reconnected. And through all of that, we never had the opportunity to connect with Mendocino County Fire Safe or the FireWise communities developing. Fire Safe and FireWise are, for me, our strongest community partners. I personally am a member of two FireWise communities. The ranch that I live on in Sonoma Valley is part of a very, very challenging area. We live about 200 yards from the ignition point of the Nuns fire. That was the big 2017 fire that started about 2 hours before the Tubbs fire. Not on our property, I'm happy to say, because we had already been doing this work going back to about 2013. I want to just give you a little housekeeping information. So I started the Halter Project in 2013. I've had a staff of one since 2015. At the beginning of COVID, she moved up to Portland, and we've
Uh-oh. We're frozen, right? Everyone else sees that?
Yep.
Yeah.
Okay. Let's just give her a second. Sometimes.
Because in the last year or so.
Oh, wait, I think we lost them. Are you guys?
But you're back now. You jumped off. You were talking about how your last employee left.
Whoops. Okay.
Sorry.
Are we back on?
Yes.
Everybody hear us?
Yeah.
Okay, great. Okay. So I should mention, are we off again?
No.
Okay, great.
No, you're good.
Okay, great. So all I was saying to introduce us to all of you is that Halter Project has a very, very small staff. And up until about 2 months ago, I had a staff of one who works with me remotely. Now I have Nicole Weld, who's with me. I met Nicole through our local CERT program. She has also recently joined our community animal response team and has started the climb up the very steep learning curve of community preparedness and animal disaster response. So a little bit of housekeeping. I do not see well. I am losing my vision, and so I don't really read my slides. I can't see all of you. Nicole will be advancing my slides for me. I'm mostly going to talk to you, and I view this as kind of a meet and greet, a little bit about the Halter Project, and then we're going to share with you a lot of the resources that we have available and really want you to understand, be able to utilize, and share with your communities. So let's
I for some reason, my Zoom, do you guys see us still? Hello?
Uh-oh, we've
Sorry.
lost
Yes.
them.
Yeah, no,
We see
we
you.
see you. We don't see the slides yet.
Yeah, I'm trying to, it went away on me and we had this all planned. So I am looking for you guys. I don't even see you guys on our screen, which is really concerning. So,
Oh, we can,
you see
we can
that?
talk.
Yeah,
Is
but I just,
there,
yeah, let me share, let me see. Because all I see is my PowerPoint. And then when I see the Zoom,
maybe you try and get out of, maybe like minimize your PowerPoint and then see.
yeah, yep, I've got that minimized. And I've got my Zoom, but it just comes up as my Zoom, like our meeting. This is really weird. I've not seen this before.
Well,
I
if we
apologize, guys.
can't get it back, I can I can talk just as easily without the show and tell. I can also just do some live in-person show and tell. We can just go on the screen. And while everyone is listening to us, can you all hear us out there on your from home? Okay.
Yes.
So Scott and Eva shared with you a Google Drive, which we have set up for all of you, and we stuffed it full of great resources. If you haven't had an opportunity to dig into that yet, I hope that you will soon. And if you have questions about any of the resources, or there's something that you would like to see and you're not finding it there, get in touch with us. So we do have a slide with all our contact information, but since we're trying to get caught up, if you want to take notes, our email address is rescue@halterfund.org. And I'm Julie Atwood, and almost the entire world has my cell phone number, so I'm going to give that to you as well. And I would welcome your calls. You can reach me at 707-318-7526. And while Nicole and Eva are trying to get us back online, I'll just share a little bit of our history. We did start the Halter Project. I started it back in 2013 because I realized it was really, really challenging to get information about personal preparedness in our area. I do live in Sonoma County, in a very rural part of it. And it was even harder to get information about animal safety in local emergencies and natural disasters. But I had a lot of friends in the veterinary world, a lot of them professors at institutions in places where nature has dealt them some heavy blows for a long time. So I had some great mentorship. Fast forward to 2015, my first deployment as an animal disaster responder was with the UC Davis vet team, and I was up in Lake County at the Valley Fire. I ultimately spent almost 2 months up there working with the community, local veterinarians, the UC Davis vet team. I am neither a vet or a tech. I am a non-medical support volunteer. That's an official thing. But it introduced me to the world of animal disaster response teams. And so I joined one. I joined the organization up in Butte County, which was already a mutual aid partner with Lake County, and did some really great training. In 2016, I was fortunate to be named by FEMA, Department of Homeland Security, as a recipient, along with the Halter Project, of 2 individual and community preparedness awards. We went to Washington, D.C. to receive those at the White House. We were guests of FEMA. We got to sit for a day and a half in the National Incident Management Command Center, which was quite an experience. And that opened a lot of doors for us, made a lot of resources more available. Of course, the next year was 2017, our fires. At that time, I was sharing a little earlier, we live on a ranch that was about 200 yards from the ignition point of the Nuns fire, not on our property, I'm glad to say, on a county road in a canyon. All our escape routes were immediately cut off within about 90 seconds. It was a very, very fast moving fire, as everyone knows.
Can you see the slides now?
Yes.
Yes, now we can. Thank you.
Oh, awesome. Okay, well then let's
great.
just jump right into slide number 2.
Let me go back to 2.
Okay, there we go. Okay, so here's where we're at. Because I had been doing the work that I was doing, at that time. At that time, going into almost 4 years, we were able to evacuate the 3 cats in 2 different places, 7 horses, 1 mule, a couple of dogs, 4 people, one of whom was my husband, who was very hard to wake up from his recliner. We got everybody to our refuge area on our ranch in 7 minutes. Our ranch is one of the places where the winds were clocked at about 94 miles an hour. They were full of stuff that was burning. My husband finally believed that there really is such a thing as ember cast and ember brands and firebrands. And I absolutely firmly believe that the reason we were able to do it calmly, safely, and survivably was because I had been doing a lot of training. I had been sharing information with the community. I had been teaching and living it. And so I am here as one of you to help you carry that kind of information forward to your community. So let's talk about what we have for you, okay? So what I'm going to share with you is all in this marvelous Google Drive full of docs that I mentioned earlier that Eva and Scott have shared with all of you. So what you're looking at right now is a collage, essentially, of a couple of handouts that lets you know what kinds of resources we have available that you can make available to your community. So for instance, everything on this slide is a handout that we can send to you. And by the way, we do a lot of co-branding of our handouts. So if you are interested in creating collateral with the Mendocino County Fire Safe logo or on an individual community Firewise level, go for it. We'll help you do it. We'll make the files available to it. We want you to share that information. So the slide I was showing you previously has, again, information about workshops. We're happy to deliver a virtual or hybrid or in-person workshop, our YouTube channel, how to subscribe to our mailing list, and lots more. We have a number of documents, including one called Animals in the WUI. I'll try to show that to you in a few minutes. We have lots and lots of other types of collateral. So here are 2 posters that give you just an idea, an example of the kinds of things that you can print for yourselves, take to your outreach events. These are available in various sizes. We have many of our collateral items in everything from 8.5 by 11, 8.5 by 14, so things that will fit into a standard acrylic table sign holder, or you can make a bigger poster. I take big posters to some events. And again, happy to have you co-brand. Our look is a little different. We try to be colorful and lively and not scary, and it does seem to be a formula that works. So here we have essentially so we got 3 parts, 3 documents on one slide here. And again, these are all links to specific documents. On the left side, you see Fire Safe Animals. That is an actual place on our Halter project. Whoops, go back. Yep. On our Halter. Okay, there right here, stay right there. Yeah. Okay, so Fire Safe Animals is a place on our website that you can go to that is filled with free downloads for not just the North Bay, but all regions of the West. We also have a dedicated folder for North Bay assets, but Fire Safe Animals is a great go-to place for you to find just about anything you might need for a presentation. We do frequently add PowerPoint decks to it, and it's just a great go-to. So underneath that, you see a QR code for Animals in the WUI. That is a 4-page handout. It's 2 pages, 2-sided, that we were actually asked to create for the International Association of Fire Chiefs for the Wildland Urban Interface Conference in 2024, where I was also a panelist. Now, this document is in your Google Drive as well. And Fire Safe Sonoma loved it so much that they asked us to create one with their logo. And so that version has locally Sonoma County specific resources. And we would love to do the same thing for Mendocino if that's something you're interested in. So you can take a look at both versions in that Google Drive. Over on the right-hand side, you see a whole bunch of colorful bars with QR codes. So that is a flip side of our community partner handout. Side A was that previous slide that explains how to find us on YouTube and how to subscribe to our newsletter and other kinds of fun stuff. So these color bars, each with their own QR code, are identifying individual workbooks. So we have workbooks, a big, strong suite of workbooks, which are essentially how to create an emergency action plan for your animals for a wide variety of communities. We love to put other organizations' logos and brands on these. We've done it for Humboldt County. We've done it for a whole bunch of the counties over in the Sierra Foothills and Gold Country. And we have a whole suite for the North Bay, which do include information about Mendocino County. So they are good to go. So we're going to go off that slide for a moment, and I'm going to show you what I'm talking about. Oh, by the way, we have most of these things in Spanish as well. Yeah. So Nicole, yeah, let's go live for a moment so I can share what we have here.
Get out of here.
Uh-oh.
Sorry,
oh,
guys.
That might not work.
There we are.
Okay. All right. So can you guys see what I'm holding up here? Can you see me? Can they see me? If not, we'll skip it.
Yeah, they should be.
Okay. So this is what I'm talking about. So this is our community partner handout. It's good to go. It's an 8.5 by 11. This is in your Google Drive. This is a great thing to take to leader committee meetings, to share with your leaders, or to put in an acrylic table sign. This is our animals in the WUI. Okay. And this is our local fire safe Sonoma version. Hopefully you guys can see me. Hopefully I've got you.
We can see you.
Okay, great. And so this is a super strong document. It was designed to be shared primarily with local rural fire agencies, so your volunteer departments, your rural departments. It's got information about large animal safety for those situations when firefighters may encounter them. And it's got local resources. So this is where we could get down in the weeds and include some Mendocino resources. It includes lots of information that helps your local fire agencies, search and rescue teams, and other community-based organizations understand how to collaborate with each other, meaning with you. So it's designed to promote and foster collaboration at the neighborhood and community level. So let me show you what I'm talking about when I'm referring to the workbook. I'm going to show you just a couple of the workbooks that we have. Oops, here we go. So this is our pet preparedness workbook. So this is for pet parents, okay? So any kind of pet that you might have. These workbooks are beefy. Everything a resident needs to create an emergency action plan for their animals is in these workbooks. And as you could see, when you were looking at our color bar information, we have workbooks for pet parents, for seniors and caregivers. We have a very strong program for caregivers of people who have pets. Love to work with your senior centers and your senior communities. We have a workbook for people with barns and ranches, a workbook called Animal Disaster Action Plan, which is for the larger part of the community that has maybe a few acres and they've got pets and chickens and goats and maybe a couple of donkeys or a horse or two or some small ruminants. So a little of this, a little of that. We have a lot of resources in Spanish, and we also have a really great small packet for people who travel with their pets, which includes information for Airbnb and vacation rental owners. You have a lot of those, and they very seldom provide information to pet owners. In these workbooks, they walk you through everything you need to be thinking about to create a strong plan for evacuation, shelter in place. They have supply checklists for go, which can include a vacation, and long stay, sheltering in place. Hygiene for animals and people. Our workbooks also include tip sheets for humans, because sometimes people will do it for their pets if they won't do it for themselves. So we have go bag information. We have information from the Red Cross. By the way, I am a board member of our North Bay chapter of the Red Cross. So we've included the Red Cross 21 weeks to get ready worksheet. And then when you get to the back of the workbook, hang on, and I will go there. Here we go. You will find an actual emergency action plan form. So people never have to leave this workbook. They don't have to look for anything else, download anything else. Everything they need is here. So it's essentially like attending about a 90-minute workshop in their own home. So an emergency action plan form for them to fill out if they want to go to the next step. On the back side of that, so very same piece of paper, same workbook, is an advanced veterinary care directive, which not everybody's going to do, but a lot of people really appreciate it. So again, we tell people everything that you do for yourselves or for your home, you want to do for your animal. Okay, and it aligns really beautifully with Fire Safe. So last but certainly not least, we have these workbooks for kiddos. So this one was first created back in 2019 for Mendocino County Public Library. We have versions in English and in Spanish, and we have a number of other resources available in Spanish as well. So I hope that you can all make use of these, and I want to get them into your hands as quickly as possible. So moving on.
Defensible space.
Yep. So moving away from resources, but staying with the assets that we have available for you that align with Fire Safe and FireWise. I love to say that if our homes are safer, our animals are going to be safer. And so this is actually a graphic that we made, again, back in, I think it was 2021 at the request of Fire Safe Marin. Again, we partner a lot with Fire Safe and FireWise all over the place. And, I was very familiar with the CAL FIRE and NFPA Ready, Set, Go graphics, but I couldn't find anything anywhere that showed barns or outbuildings. There are a few now, but at the time there weren't. So we made up our own, and it's been used widely. So defensible space for animals. This graphic does not show zone 0. It does have the 0 to 30, which of course is going to be the gold standard, especially if you live in this kind of rural environment. We have this graphic available in a variety of formats, all the way down to 8.5 by 11, PowerPoint slide, and big posters. And we also have it available in Spanish. But if you are going to go away from this presentation with one talking point stuck in your brain to share with your communities, that's what I would like for it to be. And it aligns perfectly with what you are already doing and saying and teaching and encouraging people to take action on. And that is to create defensible space that is going to reduce risks for themselves, for responders, and ultimately it's going to result in safer homes for animals. So let's move on to the next slide. So to support that, this is where we deviate a little bit from standard preparedness teaching. So ready, set, go is, of course, be ready during blue sky times and weather warning days. And then if you receive an evacuation warning, that's the time that you should be ready to go so that if you get an order, you can be out the door. If you have animals, if you have a hip replacement, if you have the grandkids with you, or you have grandparents or older people to take care of, anybody or anything that can slow you down, that is going to be too late. So we really push the concept of being ready on weather watch and weather warning days. So kind of staying in that yellow place all the time. Stay in a state of mind that puts you in the yellow 24/7, so that when something happens, you don't have to scramble and start from scratch. So the time to be ready is during those blue sky times, and then you ramp it up, brush up all of your evacuation plans, make sure that the animals, the kids, the grandparents, the house, the emergency supplies are ready to go when there is a weather watch, so that if or when that watch elevates to a warning, that's when we really want you to be hitting the road with your animals. If we wait until an evacuation warning is issued, we're already putting ourselves and our animals in jeopardy. And we all know the reasons why: traffic, congestion, poor driving conditions. And we also know how quickly those warnings can escalate to orders, and now it's chaos. So especially for people who have large animals and maybe towing trailers, it's going to be problematic. So a talking point that I would like to plant in your brains is, again, this concept of being ready during those weather watch and ready weather warning days so that you're set to go when things escalate. So next slide. So these are two posters. Again, these are in your Google Drive. You can download these. The one on the right is our fire weather barn checklist. And we made this, I rolled it out at a couple of big fire prevention and community awareness events. And a lady came up to me and said, I manage 5 really big mobile home parks in Marin County. Do you have something like that for pets that I can put in our laundry rooms? And I said, no, but what a great idea. So I came home, we made one for pets. We call it our laundry room poster, and that's the one on the left. So these are wildly popular. We laminate them. I take them to events. I hand them out like crazy. You can download your own. If I connect with any of you in person, I'm happy to give you some. But again, you can download them right from our website, and they're available in 3 different sizes, just like Goldilocks. Small 8.5 by 11, medium 11 by 17, so a standard paper size, or large 11 by 22. And again, I like to laminate them. They're a great giveaway or incentive for events, and a super thing to share with your Firewise community leaders. If you live in a mobile home park or you're working with a dense housing community, these are really great to have, especially the pet prep version, to be able to post where people congregate. So again, free. We want you to get them, use them. Let's move on. Let's see. Okay. So Scott asked, I think, Scott, the way you put it was, can you give our team some top tip-ish tips? So I'm going to let Nicole jump in and read a few of these.
Sure.
These are not our complete top tips. And if any of you would like PowerPoint decks to present to your groups, just get in touch with me and we can share a number of different decks with you that take people much deeper. But these are talking points that I chose to share with all of you because they align perfectly with Fire Safe and Firewise teaching. So Nicole, why don't you share?
Sure. So as Julie mentioned, having a strong plan is super important. So these tips just lean toward that, and you can accommodate them as needed, but plan for everything, of course, whether evacuation or shelter in place. And for long power outages is really important. Or if you're unable to care for your animals, having a backup plan, other people available that can help you.
I'm going to stop on that last bullet point for a second. I mentioned earlier that we have a very strong program for seniors and people with caregivers who own pets, or the caregivers are taking care of people who own pets. So this is a program that I was asked to first start back in 2018 by Kaiser. And it is probably the closest thing to my heart right now. I average, in most months of the year, I average maybe 2 to 4 presentations a week to senior communities. Many of them at risk, very low income, Section 8 housing, and it is incredibly validating. This is, as all of you know, an extremely high risk community. Many of them have pets, and the pets are their lives. So when something happens that is not a natural disaster, I'm moving away from Fire Safe for just a moment because you guys are the leaders in your communities. But when that individual emergency happens, someone has an accident, they get sick, they're no longer able to take care of their animals, getting these heartbreaking phone calls from social workers, caseworkers, nursing supervisors who don't know what to do because their patient or their client will not move into skilled nursing or assisted living because they cannot take their pets with them. It is heartbreaking. It's an epidemic, and it only gets worse when we are experiencing a severe weather or evacuation incident. So if any of you there are interested in doing a senior workshop, getting our senior and caregiver packets, please, please, please let me know. We have all kinds of cool stuff that supports this, including packets that caregivers can put on lanyards around their clients' necks if they have to evacuate, that lets others know, such as shelter workers, that that client has a pet. So we'll move on to the next one, but that's really
okay, just a 5-minute. Just I'm going to give a 5-minute.
Okay, great. Yeah, we lost a little time in the beginning. Okay,
so this is just more top tips. You guys have already been able to see it, so you can clearly see just more about refuge areas and hardening your barns and outbuildings.
Yeah, the concept of safe refuge areas obviously aligns perfectly with FireWise. What we're doing with a lot of communities is helping their fire prevention officers, their fire marshals, resource conservation districts, and Fire Safe and FireWise organizations to work together, to collaborate, to identify and create refuge areas for the community that also are in some cases shaded fuel breaks. They are pre-hydrate areas. In a lot of places, these are joint projects with the local watershed. So they might include water treatment facilities, irrigated pasture. So things to look at, and that can become the go-to place for people with animals, as well as a real benefit to responders. Here is something that I really want you guys to go away with. If nothing else, aside from creating a safer, defensible space for people means safer homes for animals. 3 P's in a C. Everybody can remember this, right? Your 3 P's: plan, prepare, practice. And what's the C? It's connect. And one last important point, speaking of connection, the importance of that neighborhood buddy network. And this is what collaboration with Halter Project and Fire Safe and FireWise really is all about. You guys are like the add water. We give you the seeds, you're the water that makes the education sprout, take root, and flourish in your communities. There is no better community network in times of crisis than FireWise communities. And just creating a FireWise neighborhood group in itself, it takes you, it elevates you exponentially into the next level when it comes to knowing your neighbors, getting to know each other, getting to know each other's animals. All of those things are so important. This is a number that you should all keep. It's in every single North Bay notebook. In Mendocino, you do have a framework for animals in disaster. It runs through Mendocino County Sheriff. There is an animal disaster response team, which is largely composed of Mendocino County Sheriff search and rescue personnel. So when something happens, this is something that takes more time to talk about, but just know for the moment that you do have a framework. And one of the things I would love to do, again, is to host a workshop for all of you that explains to you how to help people use these workbooks, how to deliver maybe the top 10 most important tips about planning for evacuation, shelter in place, and what to do if you're not able to take your animals with you. And again, to wrap it up, this is us. You don't need to take pictures of these right now because it's all in your Google Drive, but we have a really amazing website. We have a periodic newsletter that usually is focused on the season ahead, on topics to help people get ready and get ahead. We're trying to get one out in time for the 1st of May and Wildfire Action Day and Wildfire Preparedness Week and Month. And last but definitely not least, we have a really amazing YouTube channel. So you can watch and listen to a bunch of live workshops, live recorded workshops, webinars with me and a bunch of other subject matter experts, all on our YouTube channel. And this is how I'm going to sign off. So I'm from Sonoma County. I grew up with Snoopy and Woodstock. They're my homies. I love them. And to me, they epitomize the concept of cool, calm, remember Joe Cool, and looking out for each other. So with that, if there's any time after your community program review, I'm staying on to meet all of you, and I'm happy to answer questions.
Amazing. Thank you so much, Julie and Nicole. I really appreciate it. That was a ton of information, obviously, and a lot more behind it on all of your resources. So, of course, I will be sending out our all of these links on the notes that I send out after this meeting. And Julie was really kind to share her email and phone number, so I'll share those out as well if you have want to get directly in contact with them.
Please
I
do.
think it's a great idea to make some Mendocino County specific resources. We'll definitely be looking into doing that, making sure that we have all of those local numbers and contact informations available. So if anyone from this group though is
This meeting is
particularly
being recorded. Being recorded.
um, if anyone from this group is particularly interested in uh, helping to develop these types of resources or figuring out what our resources specifically are in Mendocino County, please let me know and I'd be happy to kind of loop you in when we start working on this project. It would be great to have some local support to kind of make this really relevant for our communities. And so you can always just send me an email after this if you're interested. And
We could
let's
do, oh, Eva, that, and we could do a really informal Zoom and people could ask questions. I could throw out ideas about the types of community-based organizations, neighborhood groups, other VOAD, COAD, things like that, that can be helpful in creating this kind of collaboration.
Awesome. Yeah, I mean, it's amazing. Thank you so much for all your expertise. It's definitely a huge topic of concern in Mendocino County. A lot of us have, all different sizes of pets. So, it's definitely something that we think about up here. Um, let's open it up for questions for like let's do like 5 minutes to start of questions, and then we'll do our Neighborhood Fire Safe Council updates and see if we have some more time afterwards. Does anyone have anything that they would like to bring up immediately? Yeah, Leslie.
Uh, well, this is for Julie and Nicole. Would you actually come to the coast to do a presentation at the senior center?
I will come to the coast anytime. Now, which end of the county are you talking about? Are you talking about up in Fort Bragg, or where are you?
Yeah, Fort Bragg.
Yeah, yes, I would. And I'm actually going to be up in Humboldt County at the end of May. So I love it up there. So who am I talking to? Who is this?
I'm Leslie. And
Leslie, get in touch with me. Send me an email or a text message so I can add you. I would love to add as many of you to my contacts as possible. But yes, I will come up there. And if we can like maybe create a weekend where we can double up on 2 events or 3 events in within an hour or 2 of each other, one in Fort Bragg and one maybe a little further down the coast or inland, something like that. So I can come up and do multiple things. That would be great. But yes, I will come to you.
Okay, thank you.
Thank you.
Great. Okay, well, maybe if we open it up to our Neighborhood Fire Safe Councils, more information might come up when you guys are sharing your updates. So I will now open it up if anyone would like to start us off and just